They showed a VTR of the Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho thing that I turned off last week, and Jesus Christ, am I glad I turned it off, because that was some... You can't do that hokey an amount of fucking verbiage with no people to react, because the hokiness comes right out, doesn't it? It's like they were practicing a scene in a play.
It's like I said last week, community theater Matt Hardy. I mean, obviously he's very committed to the accent and the role, and, you know, he doesn't, in the middle of it, wink at the camera. However, it's not for me. He's Damascus, and he's 3,000 years old, and Jericho's playing along with it, and, you know, I don't even know if they really aired any of the drone stuff at that point when they were doing the recap, but it's... AEW is supposed to be sports-based wrestling, and then all of a sudden you drop in this thing from Impact years ago now. To me,
I hate to say I told you so. Sports-based, like anybody thinks I wouldn't have been all over something that I legitimately thought from the beginning before anybody had heard about it was sports-based wrestling. Jericho in the tub with the bubbly, I thought was fucking hilarious when he was doing his material at first, and then here comes the drone, and I started liking it a lot less. And by the time he got ridiculously silly and gave the drone a t-shirt and then sicked his dogs on the drone, I said, my God, if the coronavirus was spread by outlaw wrestlers, Jericho has caught the coronavirus from the outlaw wrestlers. Instead of him bringing them up to his level, he has contracted their fucking sickness and is now just doing silly, stupid shit that nobody would ever believe and just makes him look like a fucking clown. I'm going to give the drone its own t-shirt. I'm really mad at Matt Hardy. I think Matt Hardy's a threat to me. I don't want to fucking fight Matt Hardy, but I'm going to play around with giving his drone a fucking t-shirt because we shouldn't take any of this seriously. Jesus Christ.
I tweeted it out last night that I've been a big fan of Chris Jericho and AEW, and one of the reasons was, for the most part, other than that party they had with his dad and Virgil, he's gotten away from just the goofy, silly skits and bad comedy, where he could be funny as that top heel character. I think he's been great in AEW. I've been a big fan of his work in AEW. And I wasn't a big fan of his work the last few times he was in the WWE. And now he's doing the stuff I don't want him to do, and no one's going to tell him no. So he's just doing what he wants to do. And the responses I got back, I didn't respond to anyone because I wasn't going to just start fighting with all these people on Twitter. But you hear from people like, I thought it was funny. You can't say it wasn't funny when he said Release the Hounds. It is funny. It should be on some comedy show he does. On Comedy Central.
And it's telling everybody who might buy a ticket or buy a pay-per-view that it's all just silly and there's no real fucking animosity or competition or fucking conflict going on. And his dogs are cute. Love the dogs. But it's fucking silly.
Let him have a show on YouTube or, like I said, Comedy Central, maybe Adult Swim, where he could do his Chris Jericho skits. But it doesn't belong here in the middle of a wrestling show. And the problem is too many fans now have been trained that wrestling's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be camp. It's supposed to be just really silly.
Funny things are occasionally supposed to happen that don't detract from the overall theme that people are involved or serious about what they're doing. The funniness comes from when a guy's serious but just a fucking goof. Nobody laughs at the old woman that falls on the fucking ice and throws her groceries up in the air if she did it on purpose and looked around for witnesses before she took the bump of her own volition. It's only funny when, she busted her ass. Otherwise, you're just an idiot.
And once again, cameras everywhere.
Cameras everywhere.